Doing? How's your week been?
Yeah, very good. Obviously not in the studio with us today, but using the miracles of modern technology, I can speak to you online. Now,
Fingers crossed, nothing goes
yeah,
wrong.
indeed. Hopefully, no problems will befall us. Now, obviously, we're going to be going through some of the stories that you are running in La Vida this week, the good news stories that you have. But as is always the case when you join us, you provide us with a fascinating guest. Today is no exception. Tell us who you've got for us, if you would, please.
Yeah, so last week we were speaking to someone from Iceland, Linda B, and this week we're going international once again. We're speaking to an amazing man from Argentina by the name of Julio Herrera Vidal. So if I give you a bit of background, you'll recall that we had a guest, Edward Denmark, a good month ago now. Edward's the man who I've been campaigning with to help. Edward's from Morton in the Wirral. He's got terminal blood cancer and fought in the Falklands War. So he became friends with the Argentinian veterans, his former enemy. Found out there's thousands of them who haven't been recognised by their government for their part in the war, in the Falklands War of 1982. So Edward and I, we're helping with the campaign for justice to try and get these forgotten soldiers recognition. And the man over in Argentina leading the campaign, Julio, has become a very good friend of ours. He flew us out to Argentina last January. We met Julio for the first time in person, met all the Argentinian veterans who are on all the biggest news channels out there. And Julio is a great guy. He works tirelessly to help these forgotten soldiers get recognition.
Right. Okay, well, let's bring Julio in at this point. Hello, Julio.
Hello, Roy. Hello, Justin. How are you?
Hello. All good, mate. Yeah, nice one.
It's great to speak to you. Well, first of all, you are in Argentina.
Me too, guys.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you're over there in Argentina. Tell us a bit about how you became a campaigner. What is your background, Julio?
Well, in 1982, I was an Air Force soldier, a conscript. I was doing the military service in Argentina. It was required by law. And well, after the war, I went to the civil life, and I'm a realtor here in Argentina. I sell and rent houses. And many years without saying anything about the war and living my life. And 5 years ago, I went to a presentation of a book, and suddenly everything wakes up in my mind about the war, and I couldn't stop anymore. I couldn't stop looking for my friends, looking for justice. We were forgotten for our country. We made our pilots fly and combat in 1982, and we received nothing from Argentina. And today another mate has passed away without recognition, and it's really hard to understand and to stand this situation.
Right.
3 years ago in Facebook, I was talking with a famous pilot who's one of the best in Argentina, a Skyhawk A4 pilot. And then I met Edward Denmark, and I led them to speak, about the St. Carlos landing. The troops were trying to land, and our pilots were bombing, the ships, the vessels, and I led them to talk. And then that day I sent Edward friendship in Facebook, and we became friends and talk about everything since the day, 3 years after talking about our friendship, the war, our families, everything about life. I mentioned that we were not recognized by our country, and Edward was so upset with that. And then he said, I'm going to help you till the day I die. And he's been doing that.
Right. Can I just take a little backward step? So did you actually see action yourself during the Falklands War?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
May the 23rd, I was a soldier in an anti-aircraft system, as Edward was, and we opened fire with an airplane, which was not recognized by the radar, and we opened fire, and our base was a madness that evening.
Right.
We opened fire. It was 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes, and it seems, even today, it seems to be 2 hours. That fighting.
Right. Can I ask?
Yeah.
You're obviously involved in it. Were you conscripted to your army position, or did you voluntarily join the army?
No, I was a conscript. No, by law. By law. I was 1 year, 14 months in the military by law. Yeah.
So can you tell me, because this is a part of history, and it's, the emotions still run very deeply with it. What was the feeling from your point of view at the time when you were instructed by your government that you were going to be engaged in military combat with the United Kingdom? What was your feeling?
Oh, I was so upset. A few months before I went to the military, I came back from the States, the United States. That's why I learned English. I went by Rotary International. I was an exchange student from Argentina, and all my friends in the States, all my friends around the world, the free world, you know what I mean, were very, very sad, and they called my parents, after the April the 2nd, and I didn't want to go to war. Justin knows. We've been talking about these things many times. I grew up with the Beatles. I grew up with many that I still love from the British, and it was a war in my mind too.
Yeah.
It's not easy to explain.
What was it like from your fellow soldiers? I mean, did they feel a similar kind of way to you? That what was the real point of this?
I was a different kind of guy. I just came from the United States, and I still love many things about your country, and my fellows soldiers, my mates, didn't feel the same, because it's really hard to lose your brothers in war, as you did too. It's kind of a madness. No one ever wins a war. Even the ones they win it, but no one wins. Only politician wins. Not the soldiers.
Well, let me
not
come
the
to
soldiers.
That. Let me bring that in at that point, because tell us what life was like in Argentina, because you had General Galtieri, and it was a military junta, wasn't it, that was in charge. What was life like in your country at that time for ordinary everyday life?
Well, I still living in a small town, but life was controlled by the military everywhere. if you, you know, we in those times we had in Argentina, as you did, many years ago, as Northern Ireland, we had many troubles here. The the politicians went to the barrows, to knock for the military, to put in order our country. They always said that Argentina was a mess in those years, and it was a war, a civil war, but you never know who is your enemy. Your enemy don't wear, uniform. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was very hard. But the military used uniform, so they could get killed very easily, as they did. It was a mess. I'm not agree with not even the military and not even the terrorists or whatever. Argentinians killing Argentinians is not good.
It's Liverpool.